Welcome to Serenity Wealth Now with Chris Cooper. This is not your typical financial radio show. As a licensed CPA, insurance agent, and investment advisory representative, Chris coaches his clients on a holistic view of financial well-being with an objective of providing a complete financial strategy to fund life's goals. Chris is here to guide you down the path to the financial serenity you deserve. Now, here's Chris Cooper.
All right, folks, good morning. Happy holiday season. And we want to make sure we are good, boys and girls, always. And one of the things that we always talk about avoiding, because Santa should bring us good gifts. And sometimes Santa's, when we're bad people out there, we get bad gifts. And bad gifts typically are charcoal. And so today I thought, you know what? Charcoal can be a very good thing as well. And so I brought in special guest, Jonathan Heslop with Rockwood Charcoal Company. How are you, Jonathan?
Wonderful. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Now, I think you actually appreciate people having charcoal in their stocking.
People buy it for that purpose, to give to stockings. It's the best gift ever for anybody that grills or barbecues.
Well, absolutely. And your charcoal is a little bit different than most as well.
Yes, it's not a briquette. It's not what people normally associate it with.
Yeah.
The charcoal briquettes are very little charcoal in them. It's a bunch of industrial waste that go into those things. That's why they produce so much ash. Our charcoal is 2 ingredients: wood and fire, and that's it.
Well, that makes sense.
Yes, it looks like broken wood that's been carbonized.
It does. We've got some right here for those that are watching the podcast live here. Some really nice lump charcoal here, and it's very different than the briquettes.
Yes, it's 100% Missouri product. We only make it out of Missouri oak and hickory and other woods that come out of the Mark Twain forest. We don't take down a single tree for the purposes of charcoal. It's only the offcuts, things that can't be made into hardwood furniture, flooring, pallets, railroad ties, all that stuff. All the offcuts of the tree that are too knotty, warped, wrong size, whatever, that comes to the charcoal plant. It ages, it goes into the kilns, and eventually goes into our bags, and then comes up to St. Louis for us to
never
distribute.
thought about you being a green company like this.
Well, it is a recycled product, renewable resources.
Okay.
And even our byproduct, the fines, the little pieces that are too small to go into the bag, the 3/4 inch minus, basically, we sell that into agriculture.
Okay.
So it gets buried back into the ground as biochar. That's a whole nother show right there.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, Ken Williams' buddy that Roots Plus.
Sure.
They're very into biochar and all the good that it does for the soils.
Yeah.
We sell it into animal feed. We have all kinds of ways to get rid of our product without burning it. So while we're burning it on one side, we're burying it on the other. So it kind of balances out. But it's a zero waste product made from a waste product.
That's fantastic.
It doesn't get any better than that.
Well, and no, it does not. And quite frankly, the cooking difference with charcoal,
absolutely,
the Rockwood charcoal, like I've used briquettes and things like that, thinking, when I got into nice grilling, there's a big difference when you cook with lump charcoal.
It's totally different. That's why I got into this. I couldn't find a product that I liked, and then when I did, it would disappear. Yeah. And so I set out on the endeavor to find good charcoal. I found it while at my other job. I was flying a helicopter when I found this charcoal plant, found my way down there, and started bringing it back to St. Louis, and it eventually led to me starting my own company and doing it so that we had a steady supply of it in St. Louis.
That's amazing.
And it is, we make the highest carbonized charcoal there is.
Okay.
It's, like I said, it's 100% Missouri product. So even if something is a little under carbonized, it's still going to be the wood that you would otherwise be smoking with, or oak, hickory, those kind of woods. Yeah. So it's the main thing on charcoal is the carbonization. It doesn't matter the size. It does matter the woods, but not as much as it matters the carbonization. You got to get up to 85% plus. And when you pour it out of the bag, you hear it. It sounds like clink, clink, clink. It sounds like chalk or glass.
It does.
And you can break it apart by hand. That means it's charcoal. If you can't do that, it's not charcoal yet. They're selling you a bag of wood.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And then sometimes when they say like light there's ingredients added to it to make it more flammable, right?
Yeah, you don't want any of that stuff.
That's right.
Don't use lighter fluid on lump charcoal. You'll ruin it. We did all this work to make you a 100% natural product.
Yeah.
That's organic. Any other label that you want to put on it, like cage-free or dolphin-friendly, you can do that as well. But it's, at the end, do not dump petroleum byproduct all over it to get it lit.
Well, now I got to make sure, am I doing this the right way? How do you light your fire with lump charcoal?
I have to get the lawyers to permission to say this. Don't, because we can't recommend it, but really the best way to do it is with a torch.
A blowtorch kind of thing. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
All right, good.
So they make a camping torch.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get them on just about anywhere, and it just blows out a yellow flame. Don't use the ones with the blue flame on. It's too hot. Basically the charcoal will start breaking.
Okay.
It'll pop, and you could get a sliver of it somewhere that you don't want, or the sparks going everywhere. So yes, if you take one that have some gloves on and some eyeglasses on, then you can light it with a torch.
Okay.
But otherwise, a chimney starter works great. You can use rubbing alcohol. You can even use some old potato chips.
So just those little chimney starter, like the little like driftwood kind of little things, those are okay?
Of course, you can use those as well, the starter sticks, or you can use the chimney starter, which is the upright can. Basically.
Sure.
You put the charcoal in, you put the paper underneath. That just takes a while to get it done.
Yeah.
It just takes longer.
Well, I got to tell you, it is kind of cool using the big blowtorch thing.
Absolutely. People complain, it takes too long. I'd wear my gas grill, I can just fire it right up. Well, if you use a torch, though, I guarantee if you have a big green egg or a Kamado-style cooker, I can get that thing up to temperature faster than a gas grill. I can have that thing going 700-800 degrees in under 5 minutes if you know how to light it.
And then the key also is to add slowly to your cook, right? Not all at once.
Well, if you have a closed vessel that you can control the oxygen to, that's the main thing. Charcoal, it'll run rampant if you let the oxygen get to it.
Yeah.
If you have a way, again, in a tightly sealed Kamado, you can fill that thing up with as much as you want, run it at 225 degrees, and our charcoal will burn it for 24 hours.
Right.
But if you have a leak or you're open grilling with the lid up or something like that, this stuff is going to get up to about 1,500 degrees,
right?
And it'll be a wildfire in there. So
learning.
To your point, if you don't have a lid or a way to meter the oxygen to it, then yes, you need to do it little by little.
Okay.
And with a charcoal like ours, where we've used what's called pyrolysis or distilling, basically we've got all the nasty stuff out of it that you don't want touching your food. You can add our charcoal to that, and basically it will light up, and it's not going to cause smoke. It's not going to cause the blue flames. It's not going to cause everything that you see in a campfire or your fireplace that you have to deal with then and later. We've already done all that in the kiln. So you can't add things easily like that with lower carbonized products. Okay.
Well, so that's where I need to it's trial and error, right? So I have this really nice big built-in smoking pizza oven.
Oh, cool.
And it's fun, but it's temperature control. That's my challenge, right? And it's just, you got to figure it out because it's all based on that cast iron. So what happens is once that thing gets hot, it's over. And it's 1,000 degrees and I'm toast, right?
Yeah, you don't need to add any more at that point.
Right. So I need to figure out how to add the right amount and be patient because I think that's what really it's all about.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, makes sense. So, all right. So you talked a little bit about what got you into the charcoal business was really just because you wanted a good product.
I did.
That we were missing. We didn't like what you had as options.
Yeah,
right?
and I wanted a way to write off barbecue expenses as well.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. If we can only just find hobbies that give us the ability to write everything
of course.
up, right? Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. So then that became a fairly successful little business venture for you, didn't it?
10,000 stores in all 50 states.
Not bad at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. And really not just, this is also a premier brand too. I mean,
it's the number one rated consumer ranked brand for the last 10 years. We're number one.
Yeah.
It's always been, it's never dropped out of that slot.
Yeah. Now you're in stores, obviously retail locations.
Yes.
So how'd you figure out how to get your product from brand new? Because how old did you start the company when?
It was I started in 2000. I started slinging charcoal off the books back in as far as back as 07, 08. And then, you get to a point where it's like, I better start paying some taxes and insurance for this. Because
all of a sudden it's probably a big job, right?
It was. And then people, the main thing was I had retail interest. I was using it more of a way to meet people to sell real estate to. I was a helicopter pilot, but on my off days, I sold real estate. I taught concealed carry classes, and I had this. It was fun. It was like, I just get this little network of people, and we like barbecue, we like guns, we like real estate.
Beautiful.
It was, some of my best friends came from that.
Yeah.
Still are. So I had that going, and I got it. My idea was when we launched it we started the process in 2012 of making our own brand, and then in 2013 is when it launched.
Okay.
I had the idea I was going to have it in a dozen stores here in St.
Sure.
Louis, just enough to make 10, 20 grand just to write off food, that kind of thing. Well, at the end of that first year, not even it was 6 months later, I was in 63 stores in 13 states.
Wow.
and I had more out-of-state interest coming than I thought I would. I had to figure it all out of how to ship this stuff through LTL, and then I don't know if it was the year after that all of a sudden Ace Hardware came knocking. And
so you were smaller boutique type of shops before,
local, just
nothing, no chain type of thing.
No, okay. just in places.
So this isn't like Deerbergs and Schnucks for Missouri folks, or
just single locations, barbecue fireplace stores,
gotcha,
and butcher shops
who appreciate the lump charcoal and the difference,
and the people that would pick up a phone and call me, or I didn't have texting back then. Email me and just say, hey, I need a pallet, or I need 10 bags, and I would deliver them in the back of my truck.
Do you still do that today?
Of course.
Nice.
Yeah, and I make my children do it, but I'm in the car. I drove them there at least. So we did that, and then me and the kids did, and then eventually, Ace Hardware came knocking, and they said, "You want to do business with Ace Hardware?" I was like, "Eh." The guy goes, no, you don't understand here. Hold on a minute, pal.
You want to do this.
You need to do this. He goes, I'm the district manager in Atlanta, and he says, I want to run it in a dozen stores down here and see how it sells.
Okay.
Send me can you spare 12 pallets? And I'm like, I don't know if I can do that. Man, I think I sent him 10 pallets.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have a lot of it. And
right, because now you're thinking all these other customers that you've built this relationship with.
I didn't have...
You got the stock problem.
Yes, I didn't want to abandon them, and I just didn't have enough to distribute like that. I wasn't geared up for that. I didn't have a warehouse. I didn't have a truck. I didn't have anywhere to put this stuff. So we figured it out. I think I sent him 10 pallets. It sold in a week. It was gone. He goes, I need more. I need more. So eventually that led to me going into their distribution warehouse out of Atlanta, and their other one in Loxley, Alabama, and covering about 700 or 800 stores total. So ramped up to that. The next year, we added another warehouse and another warehouse, and eventually I had all 13 of them. And this was maybe by 2015 or so. Yeah. 2014, 2015. It was a couple years later. At that point, the company was making a lot of money. Yeah. And that's when I retired from being a helicopter pilot. I quit my career because I saw the scalability of the charcoal company. It was actually, I could, support a family on it. Yeah. So I left.
Well, it was probably becoming a hard little part-time gig too.
It was. Yeah. And it doesn't look good too when you're, your main job, and then you got this other, multi-million-dollar company on the side, that trying to run by yourself. So it was time to get out of that and focus on that. And, everything I had planned for the real estate end of things to meet people, all of a sudden that kicked in and accidentally worked. And I was like, I don't really need this anymore. But that year, I think I sold 25 houses or something like that as well, which was a blast. It was fun. And but I got out of my career just to sell charcoal. And then within a year or two of that's when we were across the country in all the Ace Hardware stores. Sure. So about 6,000 stores now.
Yeah. Now, is that still your biggest type of chain? Or
Ace, they're a great company to do business with. I was in with True Value, and then they went out of business. Do It Best bought them. Been in with some other distributions, but by far Ace Hardware is just a great group of people, and I can't say it. I love shopping at Ace. I mean, it's my favorite place to go shop.
Well, they've got some of that experience that they bring into each store as well.
Yeah, and I'm the only guy that, at least in their barbecue fuels line, that hasn't screwed them over by just using them as a stepping stone to get to Walmart or to get to Lowe's or Home Depot. I don't sell in any big box stores. Yeah, I do sell on Amazon, but I only do that to control the internet pricing of it. So we keep it. I'm the only product that they have that it's much cheaper in their stores than it is online. Okay. So a bag of our charcoal, it's ridiculous. It's $40-something on Amazon. Yeah. It's just because of all the fees and the shipping and everything else. You can go into an Ace Hardware and buy it for somewhere between 25 and 30. Depends on the store, depends on the timing.
I love it.
But so they like me because I've protected them. And
Amazon doesn't know you because you're just a person that's sending charcoal to their warehouse.
I don't even send it. I'm a third party shipper with them. Seller fulfilled prime is what it is. They call it. So we don't ship to their warehouse.
So it still says little prime on it, but it doesn't.
Yeah, but it's shipping out of a warehouse in Bridgeton that all they do is just put stuff in boxes and ship it for Amazon purposes. They do wine, they do all kinds of stuff for that. And I don't make any. In fact, I think I lost money last year shipping on Amazon, but I've got to have my stuff parked there to protect the brand, because if I don't do it, somebody else will be taking my product and putting it out there. And at that point, they're going to be printing the bags and they're going to be putting something else in it. The amount of crime that happens out there is ridiculous.
Oh, that's kind of unfortunate.
Intellectual crime as well as consumer fraud.
Yeah.
With, I mean, anything on Amazon, you can just say, I didn't get it.
Yeah.
You know, it says delivered. Here's a picture of it on my doorstep. No, I didn't get it.
So by you putting it out there on Amazon, it gives you the ability to basically, you're the only one that can sell your charcoal on Amazon.
I mean, it happens every week. We've got to go after places that are claiming to sell our product. And I don't know if they're buying it. I think what they get, damaged bags from somewhere, these places that buy like whole pallets of stuff from Amazon or Costco or wherever, those exist with other retailers as well. And they'll get a bag and they'll put it out there that they basically got for free. And then the customer will receive this ripped up bag in a box that was the wrong size and they're mad at me.
Yeah.
So we've got to go out and proactively try to fight those and get those people shut down as non-authorized sellers. And using my trademark illegally to sell it.
Right.
But it's a constant process. But I employ a company to do that. And that's why I don't really make any money on Amazon.
See, all of this stuff.
A company to protect me on that.
Just to sell some charcoal to have a good grill.
It's ridiculous on it. Yeah. Amazon is the
real business,
the worst thing that's ever happened to the consumer market.
Yeah. Well, and I know you're a big fan of supporting local and supporting small businesses. I know you're part of a lot of entrepreneurial organizations as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Big believer in that small business concept.
I travel around on that. I talk on that. It's a big thing. And we do try to support it. We really try to push that my product is, 100%, not just 100% U.S. products, 100% Missouri product.
Yeah, yeah.
I was one of the first members of the Buy Missouri program, which is a great group. If you ever get online, buymissouri.org, and look at all the different companies that are here in Missouri that you can buy. Do you know that most of the squeegees are made here in Missouri?
No,
there's all kinds of.
I'm learning all kinds of stuff. So most whiskey barrels. Because it's because of the wood.
Yes.
Right.
That oak, they export those things. I mean, our Missouri oak whiskey barrels are going to France. Yeah. I mean, that's how good the wood is here. Yes. The barrel staves is very big here in Missouri. We're also the #1 producing charcoal state. And it's about 80% of domestically made charcoal is made here in Missouri. Yep.
That's amazing. All right. So obviously quit your day job as this pilot. So do you keep the pilot license, by the way?
Oh, yeah. I still fly. I haven't flown a helicopter in a long time. That's a different level of competency unless you're doing that every week or so. That should be just something that there's not many life insurance policies out there for that. I already have enough problem being a pilot and a scuba diver and a rescue diver.
Oh, yeah. Just throw rock climbing in there and I can get you insured for sure.
Oh, yeah. It's tough. Night scuba diving was the one thing I had to give up to. But yeah, it was, I haven't flown a helicopter, but I'm still very active in the pilot with airplanes and that kind of stuff. I'm still a mechanic, still an instructor. I got all that stuff.
That's awesome. All right. So then your most recent, so you've kind of got this entrepreneurial thing from really just a successful kind of side business that became something that you had to leave
accidentally got profit.
It happens, right? You talk to a lot of business owners and it's common, right? It happens, but it has to be, you make that decision at some point in time where you've got to commit.
Yes.
Right?
And it was about diversification. Yeah. That's what I wanted. It was all about having a backup plan and having fun with making money off of something that
you enjoy.
That I enjoy. Yeah. I got 4 kids. That's 4 jobs right there I got to have. So it was something to diversify and it was fun.
Yeah. All right. So speaking of diversification in the entrepreneurial world, so now you've ventured into a new endeavor, into the restaurant business. So
every once in a while, you make mistakes.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. It was, I tell you, I got my butt handed to me. The restaurant world it's fierce. Yeah. It's tough and it's fierce, but I like a challenge and I like the food we make. So.
And we're talking about Capriotti's, right? So Capriotti's subs.
Capriotti's sandwich shop.
Subs. I said subs.
That's all right. That's all right.
Sandwiches. Look at me. It's like I just called you, a briquette.
That's okay. That's okay.
So talk to us a little bit about Capriotti's and what makes that special.
All right. So I experienced Capriotti's back in the early 2000s. It started in Delaware a long time, almost 50 years ago. They had a couple stores up the East Coast. One of the family members moved to Las Vegas. They opened one there. That's where I had it. I was out in Las Vegas for the helicopter convention every year. I was trying to get a job. I was poor. I heard about this place that had these 20-inch subs for $12. I'm like, I can eat on this thing for a couple days. This will be all right. So I wandered down there. It was delicious. And every time I went back to Vegas, whether it was and I did get the job. That's how I got my first job.
Well, and you call it a sub, so I don't feel so bad now.
That is a sub.
All right.
We tried to keep it out of the name.
All right. Fair enough.
So I got that. And every time I went back, I went there. Well, then all of a sudden they started popping up in other cities. And I was there with my kids, and we went to one in Phoenix. We went to one in Miami, Denver. I mean, I'd been all over. Indianapolis, Kansas City, Chicago. Nobody ever put one here.
Yeah.
And my kids liked it. I liked it. I finally got ticked off, and I said, "Why don't I put one here?" I told the kids, I said, if you guys will work there, then I'll do it.
Okay.
Then we'll do it. But I didn't know how much work it was going to be. I thought, sandwiches, this is easy. Well, I went out there.
Well, you thought you had your kids too, right?
Yeah. I thought, boy, they would, they're going to be help. What do we need? Like 3 people to do this? No. We need like 15 people to do this. And yeah, I went out there to Las Vegas for the training, and I never worked in food service, but I went out there with a chip on my shoulder. And I can fly. I'm a helicopter pilot.
Right.
I can fly.
Started a charcoal company. I got this.
This is going to be nuts. No, I got, like I said earlier, I got my butt handed to me, and it was hard work, and it is very much, understanding the timing. I mean, it's wild how much work goes into the back in the kitchen.
Yeah. So
it took a week or two, but I got that. But then as far as the management of it's a lot. Now, luckily, I've got a fantastic general manager that runs that portion of the operations portion of it. And I kind of concentrate on the marketing and the accounting and all that stuff that goes with the franchisor is great to work with. The fellas that own it are former franchisees. So they've made each tens of thousands of sandwiches themselves.
Sure.
So they get it. And they're there with the support center to help us on all the stuff that you need a full-time person just to deal with DoorDash, Uber Eats, and Grubhub.
Yeah.
We talked about the evils of Amazon. Those are the evils of those 3.
Yeah. I can imagine.
Yeah. If you're any food you order on any of those 3 platforms is going to be 25% more than it's the restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's what they charge us as a commission. Whereas if you order it on our website, not only are you going to save 25% and get the rewards, we can have it delivered by them. It's the same process. You're just using our website, who actually DoorDash runs our website for us, but we don't have to pay them a commission to do that.
Interesting.
So yeah, it's the exact same experience almost of ordering on our website versus DoorDash, but you just save a ton of money.
Yeah.
It's the same drivers bringing it.
Huh.
So yeah, that's just a little savings tip right there for any restaurant. Order directly with the restaurant if you can. So that management though, those APIs and all those links between your menu and that is a full-time job. And we've got 3 people out there in Las Vegas. That's all they do. And
Holy
just
cow.
putting out the fires and making sure those are connected.
Wow. I would have had no idea.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
And if you're not, that's to-go orders are probably 60 to 70% of our business. And half of them originate online. So if you're not on there, you're not making any money.
Yeah.
And if you're not on there, your competitors are getting all your money.
Right. And that's especially in the food space, right?
Absolutely.
It's marketing, it's being front of mind and making sure that you have that image out there and people know where you are.
Exactly. And it was tough. Nobody knew what Capriotti's was in St. Louis unless they worked for Merritt's, State Farm, or they grew up on the East Coast, or they were from Las Vegas.
Yeah, well, and I've traveled around. I've been various cities, and I lived in the East Coast a while. When you started Capriotti's here, I'd heard about it, and I knew it was really high quality, really good sandwiches. I'm sitting here trying to remember where in the heck I'd had it before, but I know I had.
Yeah, it's scattered around. There's 170 stores around the country, and like I said, I just got ticked off. Nobody ever did it here.
Yeah.
So I brought it to St. Louis. I knew there wasn't going to be any problems with marketing these sandwiches. Yes, we've got great sandwiches here in St. Louis, but they're mostly Italian. They're mostly on hard, crunchy bread, a lot of salad dressing and Provel, things like that on it. They're all delicious. Don't get me wrong. But, and this was kind of one of the come to Jesus talks they had with me. But I came in and I was like, oh, well, I'll just get Vitale's bread or Fazio's bread. And they're like, no, you're going to use our bread. I'm like, but that's what we've done. We don't do that in St. Louis. They go, hey, idiot. You're not making another St. Louis sub. You're making an East Coast Capriotti sub. You're going to do it the way we tell you to do. And and it was kind of this thought smack to the head of, Oh yeah, that's what makes it different. We're not just going to be producing the same thing everybody else does. So we've got very unique sandwiches there.
Yeah.
We're the only place that whole roasts turkeys and pulls turkeys every single day. It's Thanksgiving every day in the shop.
Yeah.
We're the only ones that use Wagyu roast beef from Snake River Farms. So the soft bread rather than the hard crusty bread. We don't put a lot of sauces on things, So there's very unique sandwiches there. I knew it wasn't going to be any problem whatsoever selling $1 million worth of sandwiches in the first year.
Yeah.
Now making money while you're doing that's the hard part. But revenue wise, it was easy.
Yeah.
So yeah, we don't have to market much, but it's just keeping the labor and the other costs down is what's tough.
Well, and getting into a new business is a little bit different. And you mentioned something there that is very different from a business perspective. That entrepreneur in you kicked in and you said, I want my local bread, my bread the way I want it. And no, you don't have that flexibility.
You can't do that. And that
you're
was
a franchisee now, buddy.
I was kind of done working for the man or dealing with the man. But like I said, the franchisors are great and they're my age. They get it. So they give me a lot of flexibility. And one of the things was the marketing aspect of it. I went to them with enough stuff that I don't need to be in your marketing plan. I used to work at Fox 2 as a pilot.
Sure.
I know the marketing game here in town. I know the influencers. In fact, I brought in a marketing company that they weren't too happy about initially. I don't know, that's not the right word. They said I was going to spend too much money. I said, just wait and see.
Yeah.
And eventually this company is now running social for the entire Capriotti's firm across
because it works.
Because it was so good. So, and they film the content in my store.
That's awesome.
So my cost to these folks is now next to very low because I'm getting paid to do these video shoots in my store because it requires extra labor and stuff like that. But I'm glad to be able to do it.
Well, and it works, right?
Yeah.
And that's amazing.
So it's kind of, I feel like the franchisor-franchisee partnership relationship is better because it's more of a partnership.
It should be.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the successful ones really are.
Yes.
But it is just a little bit of a different aspect because, as an entrepreneur and it's your business and you don't see something that's quite working right, you got to come up with the reason to make it.
And trying to do that with a company that has 1,000 locations or 10,000 locations in all 50 states, you were nobody to them. But when I'm, 2 stores, second store on the way, third to come.
Yeah.
That, out of 170 and I'm always in the top 10% of revenue. And also I'm usually one of the top on cleanliness and overall satisfaction, all the survey scores.
Sure.
So they give me a little bit of
they listen, which is good.
I get a little bit. I'm off the leash. I'm off the leash sometimes.
But you still have that. And that's one of the nice things about the franchise model too, though, is that there's a set of guidelines that you don't have to think about and follow.
You hit the ground running.
Right. Absolutely.
So one of the not funniest things, but one of the things I found was, 90% of businesses fail in the first 10 years or first 5 years. And then very few ever make over $1 million. Well, you compound that. There's maybe 1% of businesses last over 5 years and make over $1 million. So why would you ever want to start a company?
Right.
You need to start, if you go in and or buy a company and then scale it, or start with the franchise model, you're going to hit the ground running.
Yeah.
And with Rockwood, like I said, that was something I started as a hobby. I didn't think that was ever going to make money. It was just a hobby business, and it worked. But, I could have had 10 others that didn't work.
Right.
I didn't have time on this one. I got 4 kids in private school.
Yeah. And you got a company you're running already too.
And the margins with everything going online, charcoal margins have really been cut. And I didn't want to have all my eggs in one basket anymore.
Sure.
And I always wanted to have a restaurant. So this was a way for me to do it and hit the ground running with recipes that have worked for 50 years.
Yeah.
And people on the IT side that I could get into it.
Sure.
And I got to send some money back to the home office. But ultimately, if I've got all my numbers right, it's going to make money.
Yeah. Well, and
plus it was good for my kids to work there.
Yeah. Well, and you also mentioned something else though. It's important for you to bring things into the community.
Yeah.
And you really like Capriotti's. We missed it here in the area, and now we've got it here.
There were so many people show up on that first 3 months that we were open. They either saw the sign or they heard, and they go, "Oh my God, finally!"
Yeah.
And it was funny because it was the same reaction that I had. You know, when I finally
good
opened.
for you.
So. But it was a good way for me to have my kids in there and get my kids in front of customers and get them selling, because they didn't get to watch me sell on the
Right.
charcoal side. It's all in a computer basically, unless they go to a convention or something with me. They don't get to see that. But on the sandwich side of things, they can see it's the same stupid jokes selling French fries as it was that I used selling charcoal, or my dad did selling software 30, 40 years ago when I tagged along with him all over the world. So they get it, and it's fun watching them make these same kind of jokes with customers, and it's good training for them.
Absolutely.
These kids, they don't have the communication skills anymore. So it was a great way for me to get my kids out in front of people and be comfortable.
Yeah. Well, speaking of in front of people, we have to wrap this up here, but I can't wrap this up without mentioning you are also in a pretty cool little band in the area.
Little
as well. I know it's not really little either. It's a pretty big ordeal.
Yes.
So Platinum Rock Legends.
I am. Yes.
That's incredible.
Yes.
So
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We're usually all over St. Louis. You can find us almost every Saturday night somewhere in town. If we're not out of town, we travel a little bit in the Midwest. We don't do many things out of the Midwest anymore.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've played in Southern California for the U.S. Marine Corps. We've played at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland. We typically go up to Chicago a couple times a year, Kansas City, Lake of the Ozarks, all over the place. But the most fun is we're just doing them here in town.
Yeah. Well, and if you've never seen these shows, folks, it's a ton of fun.
Yeah.
So it's not only, you guys musically very talented, but it's a show.
The best, yes. But it's a show that you watch.
Yeah.
And that is the difference with us. It's not the band that's loud in the corner of the bar while you're sitting there hanging out with your buddies talking about whatever. No, it is a show that you visually watch all the time because there's so much going on. And we do a lot of crowd participation with things. We bring people up on stage, and we have a lot of fun with them. And it's just a bunch of guys hanging out, having fun. There really isn't too much scripted with it, except, the set list. It varies a little bit, but it's usually about the same show. But I can't tell you how many 100 of them I've done now. Every one of them's different.
And it's got to make you laugh. I mean, right? Every time you enjoy it. You enjoy the heck out of it.
I don't make a dime doing it. And the amount of money I spend on it, on my costume and my guitar and all my other things that I have, I've spent a lot of money on it. I've never got a dime out of it. I don't need it. It's not, at that point, it would be a job.
Yeah.
I got enough jobs. All right. This is my fun thing to go to.
I love it.
And it's a blast. So I can't wait for Saturday nights not to get paid and go in there and just have the time of my life on stage.
Yeah. Oh, and it's a lot of fun. So you guys do basically a couple of different segments, 2 or 3 songs from different artists along the way, right?
Exactly. So you've got one fellow that does, all the different British singers like Freddie Mercury and Billy Idol and he does Steve Perry then for Journey, and he does a bunch of other Vince Neil, and then we've got another guy that does Michael Jackson, Bruno Mars, Prince, and we have another guy that does Bon Jovi, Kid Rock, and everything. So they'll each come out and do a couple songs while the other 2 are getting makeup for the next song.
Yeah.
But as they cross paths, you'll have Freddie Mercury and Bruno Mars doing a duet together and things like that, an interaction of them. And then we play off the crowd as well. So they're bringing people up from the crowds. But I mean, that's the 3 lead singers, and all the dancing and everything, we're choreographed on that. So we're kind of doing the same thing. But the musicians that we have, I mean, our bassist is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Kansas. Incredible player. Patrick, that's our drummer, was in 3 Dog Night. Mike Hennig is we call him the Rain Man of the guitar. The guy can play anything without, just hear it and he can play it. It's amazing. So the 3 musicians are just incredible at it. And that's why we can do a lot of stuff on the fly.
Sure.
If somebody yells something like that, all of a sudden, these 3 guys can start cranking out the music.
Well, then you got to go figure out what wardrobe you have in the trunk of your car to put on to make it work, right?
We have people in the bag that are that handle the wardrobe for us, and the girl is doing the makeup and everything else. So it takes about 15 people to put a show on. We start setting up. It's almost 6 to 8 hours in advance because we come in with our own all the lights, the video wall, smoke, sometimes even the speakers, the PA, all of that stuff. It's all of our equipment, so we know what the show is going to produce. There's not going to be bad this or that or whatever.
Right. Amazing. And being able to enjoy that as your hobby and kind of your get out for the weekend and have some fun kind of thing.
It's too much fun.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
But it's and that, like I said, but it's fun being able to cross market all of these companies and get people from the restaurant to come out to shows and stuff.
Absolutely.
And, it's a lot of fun. I definitely leverage the the different things there.
Yeah. Well, hey, thank you so much for sharing your story. Thanks for coming on. And I can't wait to come see another show.
Come there. You're going to be on stage. We are going to embarrass you.
Does this mean I get makeup and wigs and everything? Do I get the whole deal?
No, you don't get that.
Oh, jeez.
But you will be on. You will be embarrassed. To say
well, good. Yeah, I can handle that too. Jonathan, thanks so much.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. So, folks, you heard it right here. Now, thanks to our friend Jonathan, we know it's okay to be on the naughty list. It's all right to get charcoal in your stocking. You just need to make sure it's the right charcoal, right? You need to make sure it's Missouri-based charcoal right here from the state of Missouri, high-quality lump charcoal from Rockwood Charcoal Company. Who knew? I had no idea. And I also had no idea that it was obviously organic, sure, from, trees and things, but I didn't know that there was no trees taken down in the process, right? That's pretty cool. And all the different uses, we talked even more about it offline, folks. I'm telling you, it's amazing. Do some research on it. You'll actually be fascinated all the different purposes that charcoal can have in our lives. It's pretty powerful stuff. So pretty cool little journey we've got here from a pretty fun guy. I mean, this guy's all over the place. He uses his time on his weekends to go and dress up and play Rock Legend as well with a bunch of guys. And if you haven't seen that band, you really should, because it's a heck of a lot of fun. And that's really what life is all about. We want to make sure we enjoy ourselves. We want to make sure we plan accordingly so that we can continue to have fun with our loved ones. And that is something that I think is so cool, talking to small business owners. And that's why I believe in so much supporting the local business community, because every single business owner, every single entrepreneur I meet wants to be part of that community. And they are the part of that community, and they want to make sure that they're giving back to the communities they serve. And they want to make sure they're creating experiences and fun and environment for the community that they're a part of as well. Great aspect of all entrepreneurs that I meet, and something that makes a difference. So support local, enjoy yourself, enjoy your retirement planning as well, because it doesn't have to be boring. It can be fun. You can have fun. You can talk about finances. You can talk about life, because really the finance is just like charcoal. Charcoal is the fuel that burns to make sure we have that high quality meal that we want to have. Finance is the fuel that funds your future endeavors, your future fun. So enjoy yourself, have fun, and you know what? Give a little break, have a little fun, get on that naughty list. It's okay to get some charcoal in your stocking this time of year. Till next week, Serenity.wealthNow.com and Serenity Wealth Now social media outlets. Check us out, give us a follow, and enjoy your week.
Serenity Now! This is Serenity Wealth Now with Chris Cooper. Request a free copy of Chris's latest book, The New Holistic Retirement, by visiting SerenityWealthNow.com.
Investment advice offered through Fortis Capital Advisors, LLC.